Hello and welcome to our podcast, Art in Conversation. I'm India.
And I am Scarlett.
And we are from 108 Fine Art Gallery.
In this episode, we will be speaking with Scottish artist Calum McClure.
So, went to college at Edinburgh College of Art, graduated in 2010. It's a long time ago now. And yeah, since then, I was a chef for about a year or so afterwards. I'd done that throughout college just for pocket money basically. And then went full time I think it must have been 2012. Self-employed artist. Been exhibiting mostly with the Scottish Gallery, but also a few other places and group shows, and started making work in the Glasgow Print Studio, and that's about 6 years ago now. Moved to Hamburg for a year, and then when I moved back, I just liked the scene a little bit more in Glasgow. Seemed there was more going on. You know, you've got GI, and then subsequently, ended up doing one of the weekend courses at the print studio in Etchin, and then just really liking the process. And it's great place to meet people. And it's has a great kind of social aspect to it. You know, lots of different characters. So a lot of the work previously and just now is botanic gardens, parks, so not quite landscape in, I guess, the traditional sense of, if you think of Scottish landscape, you probably more think fishing towns, farmland, rural settings maybe, but I guess I'm more interested in things that have more of not exactly built up environment, but are a little bit more man-made, or these kind of like botanics, parks, gardens, things that are more created for pleasure than have that work aspect, like a farm as a functionality, I guess.
So when did you decide that you wanted to be an artist, and what were your earliest influences?
I think probably as early as school sometime. I was really interested in it because, my family has a history with, my granddad was, he tutored at Duncan of Jordiston up in Dundee and was quite a successful painter. And then my dad worked with the Scottish Gallery for a number of years as well. So I always had that that history there. So I was just surrounded by it as a child, I guess. And I always drew throughout school and used to draw little Lego men and stuff. So I guess sometime I always had an interest in it, but sometime in high school, I guess, kind of decided, I really want to do this, and had a great art teacher, Rab Walker, who really pushed us, and he was just very enthusiastic with everybody.
And you graduated in drawing and painting from Edinburgh College of Art in 2010, I think it was.
Yeah.
Did it live up to your expectations you had?
That's a good one. I think it would have been nice to have more focus on painting itself. I think that when I was there, it was going through a process of becoming more broad, in the sense of people were doing everything and more installation, whereas I think for myself I was much more focused on just painting and being a painter. So I would have liked more technical help, I guess, on just simple things that I think we didn't get enough of like stretching canvases, you know, how to prime things. There wasn't so much of that, but there were good tutors, and I had a lot of, you know, good conversations with artists. So there's a guy, Graham Todd, who I really like his work, and I knew he was a kind of exhibiting artist, so I got a lot from talking to him. But yeah, as I said, more technical help would have been good, I think.
Mm-hmm.
When you graduated from Edinburgh, your work was focused on etching and printmaking. How did this affect your development of your painting now?
So initially, I was still painting for a while, and then it was when I came back from Hamburg that I joined the print studio. So then, I was making more prints and learning how to etch. How has it influenced things? I guess making more monotypes now, and it probably became a bit looser because of that, because the monotype process is really quick, or the way a monotype is quite quick. So I'll maybe make 1 or 2 pieces in a day, and I use the ink kind of quite fluidly on the plate. So I think then I did make some paintings which were much more fluid and less detailed, more kind of like colour fields, I guess, than before. And that's something that continues to influence my work. So I think I kind of, just now I feel like I have almost 2 styles when I paint. So I have a much more detailed style where I'm really depicting things, and then another abstract style, which I think it can become quite confusing, because sometimes when I start a painting I don't know in which direction it's going to go.
Does that depend on your mood? How is it influenced?
It probably depends just more on the image to begin with. So my process is I'll go out and photograph quite a lot, and then I'll get the photographs printed and kind of like scatter them around my studio, and then decide which ones I want to work on initially. After that, I think when I'm looking at the image that I've chosen to work on, I'll kind of decide which way it's going, and that's it's just down to how I think best to convey that image. But it can change along the way.
Your work is based on the environment and nature. What leads you to finding a suitable subject for each painting?
I think I've all basic thought is in my head all the time is it's usually always got to be something where you can see some influence, some human kind of influence with the place. So, for instance, now it's moved much more to looking at suburbs and slightly more built environments, just because of lockdown. I was limited to where I could go. I couldn't travel very far, but that became quite interesting in a way, just going on walks nearby to find things to paint. And sometimes I will so for instance, I did some paintings in the Barbican in London, but that was very much, I knew where I wanted to go, kind of knew the areas because I'd been there before. I'd come away, thought about it a bit, and then decided, I want to go back and photograph, and then I'll make some work based on that. So sometimes it works like that. I'll have been somewhere, and then I'll want to return and be quite focused about it, because I think the place has a certain atmosphere, or there's a certain interest in the place. but yes, they're quite similar places, I think, a lot of the time. Yeah.
Do you paint any of these places actually there when you're in the space, or do you prefer to take those photographs, bring it back and decide?
So yeah, usually it is that it is kind of removed one step, so I'll take the photograph and then decide. Although recently I've been trying to put away the photographs more quickly and just work, well, when the work gets more abstract, I guess, just to work with the painting and try and remember the atmosphere and capture it. But then it depends which style. If it's a more kind of depictive style, I'll need to rely on the photograph more.
Right.
But I've not done a lot of painting outside. But I would like to try and do more of it. It's just always a bit of an operation, I think, especially with oil paint, you know. I remember watching this documentary with David Hockney, and he had like him in a car and then a van kind of supporting, you know, someone else in a van bringing the canvas and stuff. So yeah, maybe in time it'd be a nice thing to do though.
Yeah.
Or even use watercolour or something.
It would just be really interesting to see a difference, if there is a difference in like the way that you show an atmosphere.
Yeah.
When you're actually there, to coming back and trying to remember it.
Yeah, I'd probably be more or be quicker, just because you'd need to try and get it all down at once, perhaps. So yeah, it's definitely something to trying to put on the list.
Instagram is a major platform for many artists. How has your social media influenced the way you promote your artwork?
Instagram's funny. It's I think Instagram makes me want to put everything on Instagram, but then I don't really want to do that. I want to keep some of it kind of under wraps for when the exhibition comes round. So yeah, and I think just the nature of Instagram, it's people post every single day new things. So yeah, I do kind of feel the need of, let's put something up, get a few likes kind of thing. It's maybe not the best. I'll also try and keep it quite kind of low tech, just make it instant, just like a snap. Some other people like to spend, more time being more selective and curating it more. But yeah, I try and keep it fairly instant,
That's good.
Yeah.
And you've had your work shown at the Royal Academy. How did this opportunity basically come about?
So that was the first year I showed at the RA. I was invited by Barbara Ray. So that was the year she curated one of the rooms, and it was all Scottish and Irish artists. And yeah, I was one of the lucky ones to be picked, basically. So yeah, it was quite a nice. It was quite a nice first time to show there, being in one of the curated rooms, and yeah, you had some artists that I really admired. Kind of being next to them was great. You had John Byrne and a lot of other Irish artists that I didn't know. There was, who else was in that room? Sean Scully. So yeah, some kind of big names. Calum McClure, Alison Watt, Elizabeth Blackadder. Yeah, Barbara had Barbara's work as well, obviously. So yeah, and she'd done a really nice job on the hang. It's a hard thing to do, I think, in the RA, because there's sometimes a lot to fit in, but she'd done a really a good job.
That's very exciting.
Yeah.
And what would you say the most memorable achievement and career highlight of yours is?
That's a hard one. I don't know. I guess it's just that thing of you're always as good as your last exhibition, so it's probably the last I mean, the RA was really nice as well. I think being next to artists that I really kind of respect, and being in group shows is nice as well, because because you're with artists that you respect, and how those speak to each other or whatever. Yeah.
So you said that the studio that you usually work at has been closed due to COVID. Have any of your projects been cancelled or postponed, or how's work been in the past few months for you?
So I think I was back in studio around a month ago, but there weren't many people in. So the studio I'm in, there's quite a variety of disciplines. So there's a lot of designers, and I think a lot of people who can more easily work from home. So they weren't in initially, but now it's more kind of back up to capacity now. Projects. So I'm co-curating a show at the print studio just now. So that's been pushed back a bit, and I wanted to get some artists in to make work. So again, that I'm having to rethink that. So that was planned for July, and I think that's going ahead now in January. If I'm getting dates and my memory serving me, but yeah.
And what advice would you give to new artists or those wanting to become an artist?
I don't know if you'd want any from me.
Of course.
I think to be focused on what it is you want to do, and not let anyone kind of dissuade you if you really want to. I mean, for instance, at college, I really wanted to paint, and I think sometimes the people tried to push me in other directions, but I was just kind of stubborn about it, and it was painting that I was interested in. But at the same time, kind of find people to talk to about what it is you are interested in. So, at college, seeking out the tutors, even though they weren't your main tutor, for instance, who you could talk to about painting or whatever it is, if it's sculpture, if it's textiles, if it's, whatever.
Thank you for listening to Art in Conversation with Calum McClure.
If you missed any previous podcasts, these can be found on our website www.108fineart.com/podcasts.
Follow us for regular podcasts and give our show a like, share and review.
See you next time.